I can't see
It's my
people doing
friend.
the thingy. I can't see the. Can you see them?
The chat?
Yeah, I can't see that.
Oh, yeah, there's one person in here already. They must have been waiting.
Oh, I saw someone come
Well,
in, but I can't see comments.
I think they'll pop up on our screen. I don't know about how it's going to work for you, but I think they're going to pop up on our screen.
All right, hang on. I
So,
got to move this.
so,
I got to move this light because it's right in my boat race. Hold on a minute.
yeah,
It's freaking.
we just got one person in here. I don't know who they are, but I bet they're our friend.
Yeah, I put a bunch of like posts out and shit, to see if people were like and texts and that. And people were
Yeah,
like, "Yeah, we'll jump on." It might be one of my mates
yeah.
because I just got off the Xbox, man, with like two of them.
What do you do on the Xbox?
We play the what's it called? Battlefield, the new one. What's it called?
Yeah,
The 420 or
that's
whatever.
awesome.
I don't know. And we stick the old headphones on, right? And dude,
Yeah,
we've been doing this for years, right? It goes way back, long way back, and it started out where my best mate Dave over there, right? He's like a brother, right? I was out shopping one day, and he goes, "Hey, dude, you got to get Battlefield," and I think it was like Battlefield 2 then. Oh, there he is. That's
hey,
him.
Dave.
2042.
What's up,
That's him.
Dave? What's up, Dave?
That's him there.
Dave.
Anyway, so he's like, dude, you got to get the fucking Battlefield. And it was Battlefield 2 then, and I'm like, oh, I don't know, and he's like, no, do it because we can play multiplayer. Dude, it had never been heard of, right? It
Yeah.
was like multiplayer, and I'm like, what do you mean multiplayer? And he's like, we can go like around and play people around the world, and I'm like, what? Right? and so it started off. It started. Redman's in.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in. So it just started off there, man. And
Yeah.
we put the old headphones on, and of course now I've got freaking headphones where it's like it's all surround sound.
You got gaming headphones.
What's that?
So, well, I mean, I guess this is already started off with a little bit of a curveball because I didn't know the Buddha was a gamer. You
Yeah,
know?
not
Yeah.
really. I'm not good. I'm not good. I'm not
It
good.
doesn't have to be good. Dude, is anybody good compared to the people who are really good at those games? Nobody's good. Like it's just like it's like working on cars, dude. When you get good at messing with your hands like this, uh, there's some good like 11-year-olds that'll like wipe the floor with everybody, dude.
Dude, when we first started playing that Battlefield 2, right, we used to have the old-fashioned headphone where it was just the one, the one ear,
Yeah,
and the little fucking piece of shit microphone that was like,
you
if
look
you
like the
fucking
Sham
bent
Wow
it, it would
guy.
go, huh?
You look
What's
like the
that?
guy that said the Sham Wow. You remember that commercial where you
No.
had like the little earpiece in the thing? You
Yeah,
know?
it came around like this. Yeah, it was like, but it weren't one of those little thin, like the modern thin
Yeah.
ones. It weren't one of them. It was like a clunky fucking piece of shit, right? I mean, you sound horrible on it, right? I mean, you can't hear properly. But we used to get like kids come on and like be
Yeah.
like, "Hey, can I join in?" And we're like, "Yeah, all right, dude." We were like, "What?"
Yeah.
Oh shit! Because we're one of these kids, and they've been like talking to us on the headset, like, "Oh, you go there and
Yeah.
that," and I'm like, "What the hell?" And I'm just like being the plonker, like freaking like just
Just running around, dude.
yeah, just all over the place, man, getting shot, and this fucking kid, I'm like, son of a bitch.
Dude,
Yeah,
that's
man.
awesome.
So how
That's
you
cool
been?
that you can. Good, good. Yeah, good. Everything's pretty much the same here as it's been the last few days, with the exception of the weather. It's cold now, and it went from like 70s to like I don't even think it's got to 50 today, and if it has, it's the low 50s. So
Wow, shit.
it's just wet and cold.
That came in quick, huh?
Couple days, dude. But you know what's weird? Last winter, right up until our first snow, it was like warm. And then this spring it was like 40, 40, 40, 40, and then it started like 80s. So that's
Wow.
kind of where we're at. You know what I
it-
think? If you miss a chat, I think you can hit that little chat icon.
or at the top. Let me see. I don't know what I'm doing, mate.
Are you losing me?
Anything could happen here. You know that, right? It ain't doing
Yeah,
shit,
it should
mate.
be the top.
I'm like hitting it, and it ain't doing anything. Oh, hang on. What's this on the side here?
No
Is that
worries.
change? I don't know, mate. I got no idea. I'm surprised I got on.
Yeah.
Have you got it
Yeah.
on your end then? Because I'm like hitting it. It's doing nothing. Yeah, it's not.
Oh,
getting
I'm not. I knew it would work out. I honestly, just to give everybody a. Oh, it's all good. Maybe it just pops up when they send one.
Oh, what do you mean a message? I don't know. Oh, hang on. Something's popped up now. Look. Good to see
Nothing.
you, man.
How's my connection? Am I losing you?
You just got. You're a little bit fuzzy on my end, just a bit. Not bad, but you're just a bit. Hey, Ginger man, surfing a 9 foot. He's saying. I don't understand surfing really, but
Yeah. Yeah, I just saw that. I said he had a 9 foot softy, so like a foam board.
yeah. What's that? Because I ain't got a clue.
So basically, there's boards made of like epoxy and fiberglass, and those are
All right.
considered like hard boards. And then there's also a variation that is like a hard foam on top, and it's still hard. So like if you get hit with it, it's not gonna do significant damage, but it's still gonna get you. Let me see what he said. Yeah, surfing a 9 foot softy. What's up, Gingermon? I don't know if I've Oh,
Dude, why
so
does it
you're
go
from
so quick? It's like,
yeah. So he's from Gingermon just said he missed the last run of swell at Edgewater. So he's from Cleveland. So what's up, dude?
oh, I see
There's a
that.
big
Edgewater. Okay.
there's a big swell coming to Cleveland right now. It should be there by tomorrow.
Was that a storm?
Ground board. So basically like the waves on the lake, they're all no matter what lake you're talking about, so what any of the Great Lakes, they're all like short period wind swell. So basically like we'll get storms from like 1 to 3 to 4 days and they'll blow in whatever direction and we'll have to like hunt down the waves there.
So you
But
just got to follow which way the wind's like against the wind, I guess.
yep. Perry, Ohio. What's up, dude? Welcome. Welcome and
Yeah,
thank you for coming.
God, I wish it would like be a bit longer, mate. It's like freaking just flies off, isn't it? My bleeding mince pies
Oh,
ain't all that now.
I
Eh?
think swipe from the bottom up.
Bottom up.
Yeah, like swipe a couple times on the bottom. Maybe it'll pop up.
No. Oh,
But
hang on. Yeah, I think it
yeah,
is.
there we go. Sick.
Yeah,
But
I think it is. It's okay.
yeah, dude. So like so yeah, hopefully Ginger gets some waves this weekend. I know I'm gonna. But it's crazy because this week all of the lakes are getting some juice. I think the only lake that's not getting any waves is Ontario.
All around you is that?
Yeah, like all of the Great Lakes, like all lakes, like all of the Great Lakes except for Lake Huron. It's just such a big storm coming from the East Coast.
Yeah, we had a dude. We had a. It was weird because it was meant to have hit us on. I think it was Wednesday, but it didn't really hit. We was expecting it like to be really bad because there was a
Yeah.
huge, like in the Gulf, and it was this huge freaking thing. I mean, it was massive. This thing looked like it took the Gulf up, right?
Yeah.
And it was jogging towards us, and you got to be careful because the Gulf is still warm, right? The
Oh,
Atlantic's like cooling down. The
yeah.
Gulf is still warm,
Yeah, you
and
guys gotta worry about other shit than we do. Like a little bit heavier stuff. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah, and it. So we was watching it because we can get tornadoes and that as well. So we were watching it, but and
Oh,
then it
fun.
kind of
I didn't know that.
jogged north a little bit, and I
Yeah.
don't know if that might have affected you guys because it was pulling a lot of shit with it, like from.
Yeah, we get being on the east side of Lake Michigan and having the winds generally blowing from the west to the east, we get really unusual things happening with our weather. Like in the summertime, storms, there's a lot of sand dunes around, so there's really warm thermal updrafts when the
Uh,
storm hit the sand dunes. So in the summer, a lot of times the warm air will shoot storms, it'll push them up higher, and then they'll fly over us, being so close to the lake.
wow.
But this time of year, the water is colder than most storms, or it's about the same temperature. So when it hits those, and the sand dunes aren't as warm, obviously. So when it hits land, we get shit on. That's why we get some pretty bad lake effect storms and stuff like that. And then also,
Maybe,
like, with what's going on right now, it's crazy because the wind is still blowing from the west to the east, but the wind is blowing from the east to the west right now, but the storms are coming from the west. So it's uh this weird like intersection of storms. It's pretty cool.
wow.
That's the
Are
one of the
you like
things
in the
that,
middle of something then? Like to where
yeah,
you're
kind
at?
of. Yeah, and I think if it was in the winter, we would be getting like a solid dumping of snow, a couple feet, like one of those really good
Yeah,
ones.
yeah.
But luckily it's just rain. And I think honestly, with how much I've been watching the weather for this swell that's coming in that we're gonna surf, we'll probably only end up with like 5 inches of rain. That's a lot for around here, but
That's quite a bit.
yeah,
It's enough to
yeah.
start causing flooding.
And a lot of things around here are it's really swampy where we are, so close to the lake. There's a lot of wetlands. The good part is
Yeah.
it's a lot of sand. There's not a lot of like clay around here, so the water can get back down into like the aquifers and suck back down.
So is there like is there something as well that may be to do with the like what's under the water? Like if it's like because I know some places here off our coast, you go to some areas and it's all rock, right? It's weird. There's
Yeah,
like it'll be
yeah,
really you can't even walk out there. It's like really rocky, right?
yeah.
But
So
and
like,
then you've got areas that will just off. I mean,
yeah,
you'll walk out a little bit and then you're like off, right? But and then you'll swim about I don't know 50 feet and you're in ankle water.
yeah,
Right? It was like what Joe's video, when he did that. Did
yeah,
you see that video when he went walking out and he all of a sudden he's up to his shins?
yeah.
And I'm wondering if that has an effect on with the weather and the heat and shit, like how it
Mm. Yeah,
how
well,
it
and then the water
works.
stays warm too. When the water's shallow like that, it stays warmer and it affects the weather more for sure. We don't have a lot of rock around us, but like I would say probably maybe 3 hours, 2.5 hours north, it starts to turn back into limestone. And
Oh wow.
maybe on the other side of the lake in Wisconsin, that's a lot of limestone. In Indiana is kind of weird because they were going to mine all of their beach. They were going to mine all the sand for some reason. They have a lot of steel mills, but something blocked it. I don't know if it was a bunch of hippies or
Yeah.
something crazy, but Indiana has this weird it's called the Indiana Dunes National Lakeshore, and they saved this little tiny piece of nature, but it's sandwiched in between some of the biggest steel mills in our country. It's fucking crazy. So when
What's
you
that?
go,
They found it or something?
no, they just mine sand. I think they do something with sand where you can mine it. And
Oh,
I don't know if there's different minerals or if they use it for like concrete or whatever, but
glass maybe? I don't know.
Indiana was just going to plow all of their natural sand dunes for things. So like this Indiana Dunes National Lakeshore is literally sandwiched like
Oh, I've got
it's
you.
on the north side of Gary, Indiana, and the south side of Michigan City. And it's literally there are just steel mills and power plants all around it. And then it's just this thing. But anyways, when you surf down there, they took so much sand out that it's a lot of clay. So it's almost like having a rock bottom because that clay in sitting underwater for so long, it might as well be stone. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So
yeah.
there's a couple dangerous spots, but like yeah, Spitzer's in Lorraine is supposed to be yeah. And honestly, I've seen that place, but I've never surfed there because they surf in that little they surf in this enclosed area, and it just doesn't seem like you would be able to have the rides that you can get at Edgewater. And I'm all for like I don't know how many videos you've watched of mine, Ginger, but there's a spot here at South Haven I call Uncle Billy Bay, and they dredge, and it's super shallow. And I just don't think Spitzer's gets like that. I think it's just a normal spot that on a big wind it makes sense because there's no current. There's no. It might be like a little eddy circling around or something, but everybody loves that spot. Um everybody says it's better than Edgewater, but when I go to Ohio, I just go to Edgewater.
So how far? What kind of distance do you like? Because I know you go to different spots, and I've always wondered how far like you travel.
Yeah, if I'm at the golf course and I go to like the spot with the car ferry,
Yeah, yeah.
that's like that's like 10 minutes. But Uncle Billy Bay is an hour, and Indiana is like 2.5 hours away. Um, yeah, I mean there's a pier every 30 minutes or so, and depending on the shape and the wind and all that stuff, you could And honestly, there are some guys that don't surf outside of their town.
Oh wow, really? Not travel?
Yeah,
Missing
no,
out though, right?
yeah, and then there's this, and I don't want to get too much into talking about the lake surfing community because I'll get all riled up and shit. But there are people who will only surf at like 6 feet at 6 seconds, and that's good waves. It's not a bad rule of thumb. But if you're only surfing in the lakes at 6 feet at 6 seconds, you are going to miss a metric fuck ton of waves. Like, and
Wow.
people would, in the beginning, they'd shit on me because I would make videos about, like, and I'm not talking kind of ankle high waves. I'm talking about they aren't even reading on the apps that we use. It's like
Wow.
0.3 feet or something. But like, dude, it's the greatest thing. Oh no, not you, Ginger. I just meant me specifically. If you guys please like bring up as much lake stuff as you want. I just don't want to speak on my experiences with the
Right, right.
majority of the lake surfing community. But please, anybody who wants to know anything about lake surfing or forecasting or anything, just ask me and I'll tell you. I'll literally tell you everything I know. I probably won't tell you some spots on like lives or my videos, but if you message me, like DM me, I'll tell you everything I fucking know. And I'll
Mate,
talk to people about it.
have you thought about what Dan said? Seriously,
Yeah.
it was pretty nice. It was pretty spot on, dude.
Yeah, it
You
is.
know,
And again, like with that, just to give everybody in here, I don't know how many people are in the group, but there's this dude named Dan, and he thought that I should start doing like a little lake surf forecasting thing either on my channel or start a sort of a different channel and just do like forecasts throughout the week or whatever. And it's a great idea.
yeah,
But
you
kind of
got
like I
that.
said,
I even like now. I don't know anything about that, right? I mean, but I listen to what you say, dude, and it like pulls me in because it's interesting. It's like, and the way, we spoke about this a little while ago, how, I don't know surfing, but I love that mindset, right? Because of what I do. I like that, the thought, the thinking behind surfing and what that whole spiritual piece is. And I always remember the guy next door. He was in the Navy and he was in Hawaii. And I remember him saying that when he started surfing there, because I said, "What's it like? What's the feeling like?" And he says, "You get a shove." He said, "As soon as you start getting that push, there's nothing like it." He said, "Your fucking adrenaline starts going, and you're on." And it just fascinated me. I I watch all these shows on TV where these guys travel the world, right? They're looking at, they got a guy that's a fucking map guy, right? I wish I could remember the name of the program. It was on Netflix or something a while ago. And they were scanning out where to go, and then they were just taking planes and flying around the fucking world and hitting these like crazy
yeah,
monster
dude.
waves. It was crazy.
I'm like the Walmart version of that, bro. I take my van and I drive to fucking Cleveland, or I take my van and I
Yeah,
drive the swell for our area is like it's got such good numbers where I don't want to go. But I thought about because I went to Cleveland so recently, I was like, fuck, I might as well just drive to like the east side of Michigan because there's some good waves that's gonna be over there. Um, just to do it, just because it's like comparable size and stuff, but um Yeah. I just saw.
Yeah,
I think
there's
Dave just said.
my mate Dave saying I think you should give it a go, Steve. If I
That's
got
what
on
I
a
just
board
saw
now,
that
dude,
same
I'd be in
thing.
traction for about a month.
No, no, no. I don't want to. I don't want to make too many promises for people that I am not. But I'm pretty sure when Grom gets out here, you're gonna at least kind of try to surf. I think. I
Oh, but
think
yeah,
if
well,
it's
I'm going to take him. I've got a mate all set up over here to like he surfs and he's another one of those brothers, and I fucking hit him up and I'm like, hey dude, I've got this guy coming in from England, explained it all, and he's like, yeah, it's sorted. So all I've
yeah,
got to do is tell him when, and if we can match up the times, he works like an ass, and if we can match up the time and get him down the coast and going off our coast, at least he surfed it. Even if he fucking don't catch one, at least he's been out there on the board, right? So I might get a little bit tempted then, because when I see shit, I get that freaking like, oh, I'm 17 again, right? And then I do it, and then I wonder why the next day I'm not like getting up.
uh, well, I think if everything goes to plan, I mean, if he's got a board there, he'll find a wave, even if it's just one of the Cam Hill waves that I've been talking about. He'll get one for sure.
There's some of those down there, dude. When we get our summer and we get the storms pushing in, you'll see when the hurricanes are coming in, you'll see the surfers out there because it's barreling in. It's just freaking so fierce. It's just barreling in. It's
Yeah,
like the waves like pick up and it barrels in things in, and you'll see the surf. It's like Point Break, right? You're like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, but it's like they're out there hitting the. I'm like, nah, man. I couldn't do that. I'll be
it's
out.
just it's one of those things when you're. It's like when you're up really high, or when you're underneath something that's really tall. You look up, and it doesn't seem that high, but when you're on top of it, it looks really high. And I think surfing is the same way. Like if you look at it from the beach and you haven't felt the feelings and all of that stuff, it seems really daunting. But like I don't I think of it as a sport for sure. Like it's very athletic,
Yeah, for
but
sure. Yeah.
if you want to surf bad enough, it doesn't matter what shape you're in. It's that kind of a thing. It's like what I told you about that peppermint oil shit. Like
Right.
I'm not a hippie, but I will bet the shit that I love that there's something magical about fucking peppermint oil
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
helps with different shit. And I would never say some shit like that if I didn't fucking believe it. And surfing's the same goddamn fucking way.
Yeah,
Like if you
I
really
use it
want
too. I use mint for digestion too. Like
yeah,
I freaking
fucking
I
crazy.
grow mint in the yard, right? I try and grow the medicine. My wife does the gardening bit of it, and I'm like, right, we need that. I got fucking lemon balm out there for anxiety, and I got all kinds of different bits and pieces growing. And I'll pick some of it. If you're feeling a bit dodgy, make a mint tea, put a bit of honey in it, sorts your stomach out.
Yeah, dude. And I could go out and surf, and some days, well, every time. And like even when Bear died, dude, when he passed away, I fucking went surfing and there were times where this is like the weirdest thing. There's a joke, it's like you can't be angry on a jet ski. It's like I think you can because like I was on the verge of tears on a surfboard, but not while I was
Yeah,
surfing. Because there was that fucking 12 fucking seconds where I was paddling into the wave, riding the
yeah,
wave, and then
yeah.
jumping off the board. And it's like I don't know what the fuck it is. And like I've done a lot of shit. Some of it's really dumb. I've done illicit drugs. I've been knocked out. I mean I've had a lot of experiences where my brain has gone into a different form of functioning, and surfing is the fucking only
Yeah,
thing. Like I
yeah.
would have a hard time choosing between surfing and sex. I would probably only choose sex because I could do it when I'm fucking 90 if I'm lucky. But I probably can't surf even like, I'm gonna have to find something different in the 70s range,
Yeah,
So like
there's old
I
boys
gotta,
there
I gotta,
doing it.
I gotta think about the long game here, Steve. You know what I'm saying? But it'd
Yeah,
be cool. I wouldn't
you
make the
know,
decision on a day.
but let me tell you, mate, you keep yourself all right now, mate. All right, you fucking work out and shit. Keep yourself all right now. You'll be all right, dude. You'll be
You
all
all
right.
right? You
You'll
all
be
right?
still. Just make your
Yeah,
ball longer.
yeah, dude. Yeah, yeah.
Right?
There's this one guy. He's out here. Yeah, he actually lives close to here. But he's just this older dude. He's a big man, and he surfs an 11.5 foot paddleboard. He paddles that shit
Wow.
in the waves. Yeah, I call him OG Biggins, dude. And
Damn.
and then I think about that all the time. I'm and that guy, anything else he does not look athletic. But this fucking dude looks like a goddamn acrobat when he's fucking
Yeah.
surfing. He's like,
Yeah. My
I
mate,
should
my
go
mate,
watch it now.
my mate's old man back in England, right? The geezer was a triathlete, right? But when you looked at him, you're like, to what, the donut place? I mean, the
Yeah,
guy
dude.
was complete. He looked completely fucking out of shape, right? And the guy was doing triathlons. I mean, it was like,
Look at
wow,
Tyson Fury. He looks like everybody's uncle.
right? Same, right? It's like you look at, and he's knocking people out, dude. He's like, right? He just goes in, but you know why? Because his mind's in the right place, dude.
Yeah,
If you don't have your mind in the right place, forget about it. It don't matter if you're freaking fit or not,
yeah.
right? Your mind will do it. If you ain't got your mindset in the right place, mate, you ain't freaking doing shit, right? You ain't
Your
doing
buddy
shit, mate.
Dave. Your buddy Dave said, "Have sex whilst surfing."
I'm telling you that
You could
that
do
guy
it.
is
You could fucking do it.
that guy's a tit, mate. I've known that guy for 30 plus years. That fella. That was the fella that dropped on a little while back, right, Dave?
Yeah.
and I've been through the. I've got a story about him. We just spoke about it tonight. Actually, I've got to tell you a story about this guy. Right. We was where I used to work. I used to work in the House of Commons where Big Ben is. Right. And I got Dave like a job in there. He wished he hadn't now, but I got him the I got him the job in there, right, as a chef. So there was this guy called Dave Jenner, and he was a nutcase. He was a fucking infantry army. He was like built like a brick shit house, forearms like Popeye, right? And if ever he called you in the kitchen and said, "Meet me over here," you just went, "Yeah, all right," and you just went, right? You didn't argue. You just went and did it, right? So he calls my kitchen and he goes, "Hey, meet me over to Florence Nightingale." Well, he ain't there now, but the Florence Nightingale was a boozer that was on the other side of the bridge where we worked, and there was a hospital right next to it called St Thomas's Hospital. Right, that's still there, right? And all the nurses would get in there, right? So my mate goes, "Meet me over to Florence because with the nurses have been knocking off for lunch." He goes, and bring Dave. And I'm like, "Oh no," right? So because when Dave gets drunk, he can't. He's like a wet mop, right? I'm fucking. I'm like, I'm like. I'm like holding him in the back of the neck, like I've done this, like guiding him, and he's like this. He's like a wet mop, right? So,
Jesus Christ.
what's that?
That's fucking funny, dude. That's fucking funny.
So,
That's just one of those Britishisms that I can't. When you say it, I'm just like, fuck, dude. It's just perfect how you say that shit. Oh, anyway, go
so
on.
So this guy Dave Jenner, he's like, "So bring your mate Dave," and I'm like, "Oh no, right?" Because I know we're going on the piss, right? I know it's not going. I know it ain't going to be good, right? So so I so I called Dave and I'm like, "Dude, we got to go over to Florence," and he's like, "What do you mean?" And I'm like, "Dave Jenner's called us. We're going over to Florence." He's like, "Oh, all right." So we go over there and we meet Dave and we get over there. And we start drinking. There's no one around. There's hardly anybody in the freaking pub. It's like lunchtime, right? There's Rocco in there, and we're watching music videos, like which were the thing then. I mean, now it's like nothing, right? But then music videos in a pub, what? Bingo,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, dude.
So so in this boozer we go, right? And we're starting to drink. I mean, thank God I don't drink now, right?
Yeah,
Because it got me in a lot of
same,
trouble. So
same.
there we are drinking. And, Dave, I can hold my beer a little bit better, especially back then, than what Dave could do me now easily because I don't drink. But back then, no chance, right? So So he's sitting over by the door of the pub, and I'm standing there and I look at him, and I always know when he's a bit gone because he gets a bit of a glazed look and he can't function, right? Like I say, wet mop, right? so so he's sitting there all kind of a bit messed up, and I look at him and I'm like, dude, you all right? And he's like, no, and I'm thinking he's got to throw up because he's got to get home. Right, this guy, and I'm like, he's got to throw up. This guy, so I'm like, come with me. So I get him up, and we go into the bathroom, and I go lean over the toilet, and he's like, what? And I go lean over the toilet, and he leans over the toilet, and I go open your mouth a minute, and he don't. I go what? Just,
Oh my
oh,
gosh, that's fucking sick, dude.
right.
Good Lord.
So because he had to walk about 30 minutes, right? So we go back out into the pub, and he's sitting by the door, and my mate Jenna goes over and he goes, what's up with him? Because he's like army guy, right? He's nothing. This geezer had concrete legs. I'd never seen this geezer get drunk, right? So so he goes, what's up with him? And I'm like, oh, he's a bit like screwed up. And he goes, you all right? And Dave does this, and I'm like, he ain't even talking now. So it's like this, right? So I'm like, do you want to go home? And he goes, yeah. So I go, come on. So me and my mate Dave, he can walk. So we get him up. We go out the door of the pub. We're like, which way? And he points, and we turn him around. We go, bye. And watched him bouncing off the walls as he started walking down the street. Yeah, Dave. I've got a lot of stories about that guy, man. I tell you, holy cow.
I could only imagine what it was like. I mean, dude, because I think when music videos and shit first came out, I was a child. Things are so different, man. So much more simple.
Yeah,
You could get drunk and walk home, you know?
yeah,
These days, that's a fucking sex crime.
yeah. I know. You know what's crazy is when I'm out on my walk. Right, you say that. When I'm out on my walk and I'm fucking walking, because there's a high school and a middle school. I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
I'm kind of like like careful, you know what I mean? Like steering clear, because I mean I'm fucking sound as a pound, but they don't know that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I
So
was actually just talking to the guys I work with when I was coaching hockey. This was like years ago. I would do like this learn to skate thing in the summertime for little kids. So I would have to go to the elementary schools and like pass out flyers, or not pass them
oh
out, but like
wow.
hand out my shit. So like I didn't look this homeless. Like there was a couple times when I was playing hockey that my beard was maybe like half this long. So there was a little bit. I still looked off walking directly into a school, and this
Right.
was after like all of the like they were locking the front door. So like not only did I either have to like stand there and knock or ring a doorbell and look awkward, but then there were other times where I was just like I would just walk into a side door because what the worst thing that could happen is them asking me what I'm doing and then I tell them.
Right.
So like
Right.
it's no big
Right.
deal. But even when I would walk through the front door, people would look at me too hard. You know, like I had a bunch of papers in my hand and shit. But
Yeah.
I mean, I would rather have them do that than to be not careful enough, you know? Because I do
Right.
look a little
Yeah.
bit I don't look like I belong in an elementary school unless
Well, it's
parent
like
teacher conferences are
it's,
going on.
it's like me. Look at me. I put those dark glasses on. I don't look like your average fella walking down the street.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, and it's they see me with a freaking phone in my face. I could be anybody.
Do
So
you,
I
do you,
kind of, and some of the kids will say, hello, and I'm like,
yeah.
oh, do I say hello? It's
I
like,
mean, it sucks that you have to think that way, but sometimes you have to think that way, you know?
I know, it's a subject, man. I tell you.
Do
So
you ever sorry, do you ever see those videos on YouTube or Instagram where the people are like filming in public just to film in public? Have you ever seen that?
just to film in public, no.
Yeah. So like basically I think it's like the Fifth Amendment, but I see a lot of things like where people will just go to public, like buy a school. They won't be on the school's property, or like they'll go buy a post office or buy some place where there's public around, and they
Uh,
will just film outside because anything that's in public, you can film it,
right,
and because you're in public, and
right.
not a lot of people know that. So like these people, I think they're just trying to make content to get views or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because they're
Yeah,
not really doing anything wrong, but like they have a camera, they're like pointing it at people. So like even though it's not like against the law and it's guarded by the Constitution, which I think is
right,
good, it still is kind of fucking weird. And then it makes things like when like what you and me do, or like Grom taking a camera on a plane. It's those
right,
shit bags that make us look like we're fucking weird when we're just
right.
videoing
Yeah,
ourselves, which
yeah,
is
I know.
almost kind of weird, I guess. But like, it's not as weird as filming some other people just to fucking do it. And
Right.
it sucks, yeah, and I think about that a lot, dude. Like, I would rather have my van smell like weed or cannabis, sorry. I would rather have my van smell
Good
like
man.
that and have to explain it away to the cops than to have anybody think I'm filming children or like
Shit, yeah.
fucking with kids. Like I
Shit,
would,
yeah.
I mean, so I try
Yeah.
to stay away from there, but yeah, I'm never too worried because I'm never doing anything wrong. But I definitely like me and you are in the same boat there. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
But
we can't be
it's the
walking
same,
around.
dude. It's the same if I walk past the copper. All of a sudden, I like feel guilty. I ain't done shit. Maybe it's something that past or something. I don't know,
Well,
but it,
yeah, for me too, for sure.
it just made it just it just makes you a bit like, ooh. Even when no matter where I'm at, it don't matter where I'm at, what country I'm in. If I'm walking past coppers, I get this get like, oh shit, have I done wrong kind of thing,
Yeah.
you know?
Dude, anytime I don't know if you've ever seen reruns of this show called Cops, or maybe you've seen just regular
Yeah, I
episodes
used
of
to
Cops.
watch it in London. Yeah,
Okay, dude. So when I was younger, I never got into any real trouble, but I would get into some trouble. And whenever that theme song would come on, I would feel guilty. Like I would
no
get
shit,
nervous and feel like I'm doing something wrong, or like be
no
like,
shit. Yeah,
are they looking for me? Because a lot of times I was, like I would always get caught with weed and alcohol, so I was always on probation for like minor in possession, and then I would get caught with weed or alcohol again, and then they would revoke my probation and reinstate it. It was a vicious cycle.
no
But
shit.
yeah, and again, it was never any. It was just like getting high and drunk or whatever. But whenever that damn cops song would come on, dude, it would always just make
Yeah,
me feel like
bad boys. What you gonna do? That one. Yeah, my mum used to walk around singing it, getting all the words wrong, and I'd be like, Mum, what are you doing? I'm like, you're singing it. You're singing it all asked about face, and she's like, that's the words I'm gonna sing it, and I'm like, all right. So she used
yeah,
to just every time we come on, she'd be singing all the wrong shit. Yeah, my mother. That's how I know that program.
right, dude.
But yeah,
So what do you think about the live so far? I'm curious. I know,
I'll tell
I
you,
know.
I'm still aware, but I
You're
don't
still
know if
thinking
that's just
about it.
because I don't know if that's normal or if that's because of what I do or what, because I'm very
No.
aware that I'm live.
Right. Yeah, that'll go away. But like, do you think that because like the chats are coming up now? Do
Yeah,
you think that like let's say a bunch of people just wanted to like run questions by you? Is this
yeah,
something you could do like just you? Like
yeah.
just like what if it was just like this? And go. No, but like honestly, dude, cuz and I say this to you a lot, but for the people that are watching or that might watch later, like what you do specifically can fucking help people. And like maybe I can make people laugh or give them some sort of value or whatever, but like you have a wider reaching, more useful channel like in message and everything. And like I think it would just and everybody would agree with me. I don't even need to ask anyone. But I it would be fucking awesome if this is like something that you could do where even if I think that there's ways where you can go incognito on your YouTube and then ask the Buddha questions where you don't even people wouldn't even see your name. You know what
Oh,
I'm
did
saying?
I?
So like,
Really?
yeah, I think it would be such an awesome thing for you to do. But I know it's weird at first, you know? Like
Yeah, see,
even with
well, but it was weird when I was walking with it. When I first, I mean, it was Grom that got me doing that. Basically,
yeah,
I wouldn't have known any of you guys if it weren't for Grom, right?
yeah,
And
same, same.
I messaged him one day, and he actually got back to me on like through YouTube. I can't remember what it was. I don't even know how I saw his video. To tell you the truth, like the first one, I must have just clicked on it, right? And he got back to me, and then it was like end of story, mate. We just started going back and forth, and then we talked and shit. But he said, why don't you start doing it? Because I had mentioned, I
Yeah.
thought about it, right, a little while ago. And he's like, and I'm like, what do I do? And he's like, just freaking use your phone. And I'm like, what? Because I'm thinking, I freaking can.
You gotta get lights and fucking
Right?
a helicopter.
Yeah, like fucking drone above me head while I'm, looking up at the drone, take freaking threes, up makeup, all that shit, right? So he's like, just walk with your phone. And I'm like, all right. So I just held it, and it felt weird at first because it was like I'm talking to, So what I had to do was switch it to talking to people, right? And then I knew that I like because I sometimes think about the group as well. Like some people in the group might have some shit going on that nobody really knows about, but I'll think, oh, okay, I'm gonna bang out a video, right, and use it and to help, right, to communicate. And so once I knew I was just like talking to somebody and not the phone, because that's what it was. I was like,
Yourself.
now I used to switch it. Dude, you have no idea, man. When I'd be out walking and I'd have someone walking towards me and I'd go, stop, and just keep walking and then start it again. That was me, right? Because
Right.
I didn't want them to see it. It was weird. It was just
Yeah. Filming in front
right.
of people is weird. It's
It really is.
I do it. I always film in front of people because when I'm surfing, I'm rarely alone. So and everybody knows what I'm doing. So I got over that quick. But like when I film like at the gas station or something, I still get that weird little
Yeah.
thing.
So what is it? What do you think that may be to where you get that ego?
Self-consciousness. I mean, it's not normal. People don't do it normally. And
Right.
it's just when you do something that's not normal and you're worried, like, oh, people are like, oh, fucking YouTube guy, what do you got, a million followers or whatever? Like, and just people shit on people for all kinds of reasons. But
But what's
yeah, and
normal?
right, yeah, not
Right.
us. But what I think it's more just like it's not people don't see it a lot. And then I'll go back to what we were just talking about, like the people that use this as a weapon. Like not only the guys that just go into random public places and start filming and shit, but the people that when they get pulled over, they immediately pull out their phone and
Yeah.
shove it in the cop's face, even though they were going fucking 25 miles an hour over the speed limit, or
Right.
their fucking shit doesn't work, or they don't have a license or all that shit. So then like people automatically think we're doing some fucking weird ass shit
Right.
when we're not. Well, we kind of
Yeah.
are again,
Yeah, well,
but it
you
did like
know, but it's like I said, what's the norm, right? I mean, it's normal to us. I mean, if I,
no, but
it,
falling in line, not filming yourself in public, that's pretty regular, I guess. I guess normal wouldn't be a good word. And I think and I guess if you look at it from the people maybe it is more us because I guess you probably if you were just to ask them what
right,
like what do you think about this? I think
right.
most people wouldn't give a shit, but it's probably a little bit of us being self-conscious and a little bit of not knowing if the person who we're walking by is a fucking Karen or something, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
Mm,
if you really look at it, like what you just said, right? If we actually ask them, right? So that
mm,
tells me that's our own belief systems of what we think they're thinking, right? So and then that like interferes with the ego. So then we're like, oh no, and we kind of back up because it's like it's protecting something, right?
mhm,
Because now we think we're being judged, and nobody
mhm.
likes being judged. So when the mind thinks you're being judged, it shuts down. So it's like, oh shit, ego kicks in, saves the bastard, right? He's fucking going into one, turn the camera off, right? Right? It's definitely it's your mind doing it. But if like Grom does, walks around with confidence, right? And you might get people come up and go being intrigued, right? It doesn't necessarily mean if someone's looking that they're going, you two wanker, right?
Yeah.
It could be they could be intrigued, like, oh, I've done a little bit of that. I wonder what, but they're too scared to move over and talk to you because they may be thinking something again that you're going to judge them. Right? So then you have a fucking stalemate. But we're walking around, everybody's walking around with their own beliefs about people. And all it takes is like talking. Right?
Yeah.
Talk to somebody.
Yeah. Dave just, or he didn't just write it, but he put in the comments, teaching people how to meditate would be good. Something you could do live.
Yeah, I've actually thought about it. And I've actually talked to my therapist about it. She's kicking my ass to do it. I don't know if she's in here. She might be. But she's been kicking my ass over it. And I've got this whole idea of maybe doing a little talk in the beginning, maybe some kind of subject, nothing big, just something small, talk about something, and then going through a meditation, and then see how everybody's doing, any comments, any questions, anything like that, and then shut down, but and do that. Do it on a regular thing. Dave, look, just do it. Yeah, I know, man. I get you, man. He's always kicking my ass. He got into Buddhism as well, and all the way of thinking. The dude's got bad anxiety as well, and it's just the way. It's the only way that I know how to fucking control it, right?
Yeah.
And he started doing the same and started a journey himself. But that guy he's not all there, dude. He really ain't all there. I keep telling him, you're not all there. You really ain't all there. He's fucking Luke. You want to see him in the kitchen? He's mad. He's better than I am in the kitchen. That guy.
Dude, I think cooking is a lot like drawing. Like if you're gonna do it good, there's just so many things that you have to be able to know and do, and like moving your hands and like cutting shit and working with different food. It's tough, dude, and you got to be so patient.
Yeah.
And it's it's weird. Every kitchen I've worked in, it's like every one of the line cooks to the chefs, they're some of the most impatient ass motherfuckers. But cooking is you can't make some shit cook. Like you gotta cook the motherfuckers. It's like, but dude, I tell you what, like I don't eat for pleasure really, but there's a lot of things that just like they look impressive. Like there's foods that just look impressive. Right. It's such a fucking art.
The problem with chefing went, at the end of it, right before really I got out of it, it went too sciencey. There was fucking people doing all these froths and I'm like, chefing. When I went into chefing, it was all like nouvelle cuisine and that crap. Like a little tiny bit on a plate. I mean, that's where it started out of. And then it kind of progressed into better things, but then it kind of went that way again. I don't know if you know Blumenthal. There's a chef called Blumenthal. He designs. He basically like designs things that uses all different crazy freaking ingredients and froths and freaking. I don't know. He builds jellies. And you're like, really? If I'm going in somewhere, I really don't want to sit down and eat, a piece of jelly, and they say, that's a 100-year-old oyster jelly. I'll be like, okay, tastes like shit, right?
Yeah, dude.
Right?
Yeah, dude.
Give me something.
Yeah, I don't want that Big Mac foie gras, bro. Like, just give me a fucking steak.
Yeah, I've had it, man. I've had. I've eaten some freaking foods because we educated our palate as we went along. So
yeah, dude.
I've seen come in.
Like they make a little like gas, like they use like nitrogen and they freeze shit, and then they'll make they'll use like the pectin gum and make like little cream, like fucking it'll be like little drops of shit, and like this will taste like mashed potatoes, and this will taste like turkey, and you'll have a whole Thanksgiving dinner that you can put on each little prong of a fork, and then lick it, and then there's your fucking
Yeah,
there's $800.
yeah. Have you
See you later,
seen?
bro.
Have you seen the ones where you go in? It's a completely dark room. Have you seen that?
No,
I swear
that's
to
like
you.
when somebody farts in paint and calls it art. It's like, come on, bro.
Maybe,
Like, you just
listen, if you
farted
drop
in
your guts
paint.
in it, no one's going to know it is, are they? Right? It's literally, it's, it's, it's pitch black. It's a room that they take you in. It's absolutely freaking, you can't see shit, right? And you sit down at this big table in the middle, and the freaking waiting staff have got those freaking, those seeing the dark military things, where
Night vision.
they're in there freaking serving
Dude,
you up your shit.
I think I
And
have seen that actually.
the good thing about it is the only real good thing about it is I kind of do the same. If I'm tasting something that is like at its prime, right? Like I remember a freaking orange that it was at its prime that I ate. I remember a mango that was at it. I remember it, right?
Right.
And what I'll do is if someone says, "Oh, I grew that in the garden," I remember this. It was a mango. My mate grew it. It's freaking amazing, right? And I said, "Is this from your garden?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I closed my eyes and then tasted it because you're taking out one of your sensory organs, your eyes, right? So even
Yeah.
though you've seen it, if you close your eyes, it focuses now on the taste and not both, right?
Right.
So I so I, I,
Mhm.
I always or bread. If you give me, I mean, I don't really eat much bread now because you know what I mean. The old stomach, two bob bits in the morning, not good, right? So right, so but bread, right? If you take bread and you've got warm bread
Uh,
that's served up, if you close your eyes and just break your thumbs into it and then just sniff, dude, it's like it gets everything flowing, right? But this fancy shit, man, foams and fucking jellies and dude,
Amuse bouches, all that shit. Come on, now.
I've done it, I've done all that, I've done it, not so much all the fancy shit that came out after I left, because it did go to a bit of an extreme, so to say the least. But when I was in it, I was doing all that and it was good at the time. It
Yeah.
was fun, enjoyed it, but when I look at it now, and now I'm out of it and I look at it, I'm like, yeah, shit. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Yeah.
What's that? You can keep your oyster jelly, red man. Yeah. Not that I've eaten oyster jelly, but it just came to mind.
Me neither. Me neither. I'm not a big fish guy, and I'm not into onions. Everything else, I can work with.
Really? No onions?
Not and like I can eat things with onions. I can have a little flavor of onions, but even like grilled onions, I just not my thing, dude. And like
No shit.
there's a lot of things like because I worked in a fine dining restaurant for a while back in my college drinking days, and the guys would plate up really really nice looking. They borderline kind of looked appetizing fish dishes with fish, but
Yeah.
it's just like, dude, the second that it passes my lips, it's just like not a thing. But the weird thing is I do like seafood, like it's not oysters, but
Oh,
like
wow, that's crazy.
calamari and fucking shrimp and lobster, which is unusual.
Do you
So
like?
I
Wait,
don't know.
have you had lobster cooked right?
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good. I like
If you
I
cook it,
think
if
my
you get it
favorite
right, it's like
oh
butter. You get it right.
yeah, I think my favorite seafood dish would be crab cakes, you know?
If you get the fresh crab and that and make it,
Yeah.
yeah. If you make it, if you like that frozen shit's no good, right?
No.
If you buy if you the only people don't realise that if you slow freeze something, that's why liquid nitrogen's way better. Because if you slow freeze something, the molecules are bigger in the atom, so that it spreads the molecule. The water spreads the molecules apart. So then when you like defrost it, like strawberries are known for it, you get that sloppy freaking mess, right? Because it
Oh, yeah.
literally breaks down the molecules within the food. But if you do liquid nitrogen, it's instantaneous, so it
Right.
doesn't have time to do anything. The molecules stay
Yeah.
small, and when you defrost it, you got a different experience than if you do, bung it in a freezer, like a home freezer. Yeah,
Right.
liquid nitrogen. That's why if you had liquid nitrogen ice cream,
No.
you,
Better?
dude, well, again, it's the crystal size, right?
Yeah.
You're freezing something so quick that it's small. The crystal sizes are small. So you've got it, dude. It's so freaking buttery and creamy. And
I gotta try
I'm vegan, right? I'm plant based. So
some.
I'll get liquid nitrogen ice cream, dude. It's like you're eating some freaking Italian, dude, like a gelato. It's gorgeous, man.
You
Because
get it at like a regular store?
they have places, liquid nitrogen
Yeah.
ice cream places, and it's just like an ice cream place, but
Yeah.
they have the. We used to have these little mini. You can buy them for your home kitchen now, but with, the KitchenAid mixers, the good
Yeah.
ones, they have a bunch of those lined up with the
Oh, yeah.
basins on them,
Yeah.
and they pour all the ingredients in there, and then they literally have the liquid nitrogen tanks are underneath, and they have these tubes that come up and feed the basin. So they kick on the liquid nitrogen, and it goes jet straight in there while it's mixing. Dude, you got ice cream like that, and
Nice.
it's smooth as shit. So good. Yeah,
Dave
try
said
it.
he's going to bed.
He's going, yeah, I'm surprised. Well done staying up, dude, because I tell you what, that geezer goes to bed at like freaking 6 o'clock in the evening. I don't know what's
Yeah,
wrong with
man.
him, bro.
Thanks for stopping by. Hey, if anybody is in here right now and they're not subscribed to Steve's channel, we're trying to get Steve to 100 subscribers. So go subscribe to Steve's channel.
Thank
You
you.
can
I appreciate it.
if you need to unsubscribe, you can unsubscribe from my channel to subscribe. It's the only time I'll say it.
Nah, man.
We need to get Steve to 100 subscribers. It's a goddamn travesty. It's
Mate,
bullshit.
you talk down about yourself too much, dude. You
I don't talk
honestly,
down. I don't. I love myself. I believe me. I think I love me more than anybody could ever love me.
you're a
But
lovely guy, dude.
I'm a gem. Believe me. But I have a little bit of poop on me sometimes. But stop.
Yeah,
You're
we
trying
all
to
do.
help me. Yeah, but see, my bigger thing is like Grom's channel has been slowly getting some subscribers at a slower rate than he deserves to. Same
Right.
with everybody that we deal with deserves more. However, you're out there, all you do is try to fucking help people. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, like I said, if anyone in here is not subscribed to Steve's channel, please go do that. But yeah, dude,
Appreciate
I
that.
think man, I think if we figure out, I guess it would be Grom or Rick with their software, there
Right.
could be like an epic sort of a revolving door of like live streams that have different purposes
Yeah.
and get Uncle Billy in the mix. He could talk about stuff that none of us have any
Mate,
idea about.
you two talking about surfing? Seriously? Shit, man. That'd be awesome. Oh, hang on.
Cat Angel.
Oh yeah, what did she say? I know Cat. Hey Cat.
She says that we're lovely and our conversations should be live.
Awesome. Thanks, Cat. Appreciate
Yeah.
that. Yeah, Cat's cool as shit, man. Very, very spiritual. Very spiritual. In all the shit that I'm in. That's how I'm at.
Yeah.
All this
I
spiritual
was
stuff.
thinking about that too. It is unusual how you found Grom's channel because I think most of us were we have like that Ben Gravy sort of commonality. Like either you've watched some of his videos and like I think a lot of these guys knew about him sort of before he was a bigger surfer or whatever, but
Right, right.
you finding Grom's channel is unusual. Maybe it's the King Chook, perhaps. I don't know. The King Chook in yes. But
You haven't done that,
yeah,
mate.
that is
King
pretty
Chuck.
crazy. King Chuck hasn't been around lately, and I thought about that the other day.
You
But
know what I just heard? He just got a dog. I just heard this from the mates tonight. He just got a dog that he's named after himself. And the other mate came up and he said he's even got the ears. The dog's got the ears. I don't know what the dog is, but now old King Charles, King Chuck, has a dog with big
yeah.
ears apparently.
King Chuck with a dog Chuck. His horse is named Charlie. Boy, oh boy, this guy's a
And
gem.
where's the dog? It's a dog, not an horse. It's a dog,
Yeah, I'm sure he's
right?
got a horse named Charlie too, though.
Oh, yeah, Charlie Horse. Brilliant. Brilliant. I didn't even catch
Yeah,
it. Oh,
yeah.
dear.
Come
But
on.
no, he's got a bloody dog. Yeah, named it after himself. What's this? Ice cream junkie, Red Man.
Yeah,
Ice.
man.
Have you had that, Red Man? The nitrogen made ice cream. I tell you, man, there's nothing like it. If you find a place, chill, and you can get nitrogen ice cream,
Yeah,
mate,
I'm
it's
gonna look
like
it up. I'm gonna look it up. I can't be single forever, so I think if I find one close, I'm gonna take this chick to the nitrogen ice cream
you know where you'll find it around the unis.
around the yeah. We live in a pretty progressive area with a couple universities for sure.
That's where you'll find them.
Yeah,
Because if you got some, they're normally tucked away in a strip mall around universities and shit. Because it's kind of,
right.
you ain't gonna get your Q-tips going in them, right? Your old people with grey hair and thin body, right? You're not gonna get the old Q-tips going in, right? So it's like they're normally around the more
Right,
university kind of young
right.
crowd, yeah. But I'm telling you,
Yeah,
man, it's good. It's good stuff. What did
yeah.
Redman say? I ain't got me glass. I have to keep putting my bloody glasses on, man. That sucks.
Those
Um,
glasses are rivaling Groms, man. Or maybe it's just the
bullshit.
light.
Are you shitting me?
Maybe it's just the
These,
light.
these, these are like 4 times the size of mine. They're like, I don't know. How does that guy lose anything? I don't know how he, right?
He can't have those on, or else the fucking light from everywhere will start to set his corneas on fire.
We'll all be sitting there with sunglasses on because it was just big freaking
He has to go through the
reflecting
door sideways.
those glasses, man. When he first put them on, I thought, oh Lord, what's all that about? Right? He could surf with that. He could like literally.
I want to know why.
He could,
He's the only place he wears them. He don't put them on at work.
are they actual glasses or are they
I
like?
don't know. I think he's fucking with us because at work that dude's got to work with these tiny little pieces, and he never puts his in. Hey Dan, what's up, dude?
Dan, is that Dan? I saw
Yeah,
something flash up.
Dan Cov.
Hang on.
Dan Cov is in.
Oh
He
yeah,
must
here
have
it
did
is.
something either. Done.
Done. Who's done? What's done? Done.
I don't know. I don't know what Radman says. Done. Radman
I don't
said
know. What's
done.
got an egg cooking? What's that?
Maybe.
bit,
Maybe.
bit of steak in the pan? Is that what it is?
Oh
No,
man,
man.
dude. So we've hit the hour mark. What do you think? You want to keep going, or should we wrap it up?
Dude, I'm enjoying it. I'm like relaxed and shit. It's up to you.
Yeah. No, we can keep talking for a bit.
And, if
It's
anybody
fun, bro.
wants to freaking ask anything or whatever, as long as Dave don't ask it, oh, he's gone, thank God, because
Yeah,
Dave's a knob end.
it's enough. The fucking knobbin. What did I call? What do you call ears? The lug hole.
Logo is your ear, yeah. Your luck,
Keep
your
going.
logo.
I'm going.
Oh,
Let's
hang
go.
on, Cat said keep going in capitals.
Well, we better keep going. I'm gonna crack another fancy boy water here.
Fancy. Oh, you like that LaCroix, don't you? Yeah, I'm like, is that what you got? Oh, what's
Uh,
that?
I got some bubbly today, but it's the same thing.
Is it what as LaCroix?
Just, it's just water and carbonation.
I ain't seen that one. I
I
do
don't even.
LaCroix.
Yeah, this one's called bubbly. I don't really
Is it?
even drink regular water anymore. I
I
just
know,
drink this
man.
shit all the time.
I tell you what, I thought about just getting freaking like some soda water and getting those squirties. We call them squirties. You know when you buy in a supermarket, they're probably dodgy as shit, man.
The
They're
sweaty.
probably they're probably wrecking my colon as I speak, right? But they're these little squirty things. So you get the old cold water, bung some of that in. You got
Yeah,
like that's what I got here. That's what I got here. It's like fucking orange juice, right?
yeah,
And but with that water, like get that water, and then I'll spray some of that in there. Like if you get the orange LaCroix, yeah, and then get the orange squirty and bang, dude. It's like, do you like Fanta? Do you like orange Fanta, like orange soda? No,
No,
no.
no. But
So,
I get what you're getting at. I can feel I can jump on the train, you know.
matey, shit. It's like, what's that? Grape? Is that grape?
That's blackberry.
Who?
Blackberry.
Oh, blackberry.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I think they got a blackberry squirty, mate. Look for a blackberry squirt. Bung some of that in there.
Well, I'm not I don't want to give away too many of my Cameron secrets. However, anybody in the States can go to Wendy's and dump one of any flavor in one of Wendy's lemonades, and it is like it's a spicy lemonade, dude. And again, I don't drink, but it's like you add a little bit of this carbonated water to a lemonade and like whatever flavor you want, doesn't fucking
Yeah,
matter. You
yeah.
like peach, you like orange cream, limoncello, whatever the fuck you want. Dump some of that in the lemonade. And
Oh,
I've been trying to stay away from like anything. I'm at the point in life where if, I'm just like that Adam Sandler said, you know, you have one milkshake and your ass jiggles for a week. I feel dude, like I have to eat like once a day, and if I have anything outside of like any extra bullshit, I can see it immediately. And so cutting out like pop and sugary drinks, that's helped
right.
a ton. Because I
Has,
if I
does that
don't
help
do
you
any of
surfing?
that shit, what?
Does that help you surfing?
No, it just helps my self esteem. I gotta like I don't wanna I have to look like chicks want me, or else
Talking,
I feel
talking
like
of ego.
yeah, dude. I'm working on it, Steve. Fuck me, dude. I'm
No
fucking
wonder you
working
can't walk
on
into a
it.
gas station with a fucking camera in your face.
Yeah, dude. At least I have a shirt on, you know. Fuck me. I don't do I think Grom was doing all of that hard work to like not not eat food. And I'm like eating fucking nacho burgers from Wendy's every day.
I
Or like
know, right?
pizza every fucking day. And I
Dude,
have like
you
96 cups of coffee filled with peppermint creamer. I mean, like the only food I have in my van right now is a fucking Rice Krispie treat. That's all I
oh, my.
got, dude. So like, it's just like feast or famine. But it's so hard to be healthy when like yeah, everything that tastes so delicious isn't good for you. You know?
Right, right, yeah. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
man, when I went, the best thing I ever did was go plant-based. Seriously. I mean, I don't say vegan, it's a label. I have to do it when I'm out because people don't understand plant-based when you
Yeah.
say it. But the reason I say I'm plant-based is because I do eat honey and vegans don't, right? And it's to me, it's just a fucking label, right? But dude, it was the best thing I ever did. It took a bit of time because I'd go out to eat and it would just be meat. That would be it. I would just freaking bring on the meat. Screw the veg. Bring it on. I was that guy.
Yeah. You
And
know,
then,
I don't know a lot of people who went vegan and then went back. I know a lot of people who are vegan, but I don't know a lot who went back. You know what I'm saying?
I went I went pescatarian first, where I was just eating fish and that, right? But not eating meat and dairy. I would eat dairy too. So I went pescatarian for a bit, and then I went back to eating meat. I actually did. I went back.
Really? Holy
Yeah,
shit!
I went back. It was fucking my mate's fault. He takes me to this place where they did these badass fucking buns and like it's like it's really bad for you, right? You're talking stupid like calories and right. But the server come out and she's like, my mate goes, oh, he's vegan. So she goes, oh yeah. And then I saw this sandwich and I'm like, oh, I think I'm going to eat that. So I went back eating meat again for a bit, and
Man, how
then
long?
um, it wasn't that long, maybe 6 months, something
Oh
like
wow.
that. A few months, nothing major. And then I started reading a book. Anybody watching, I recommend them get this book by Rich Roll, and it's called Finding Ultra, right? And this guy is an ultra athlete, and if you look him up on YouTube, I suggest following him. because he does amazing interviews, all to do with the mind, some sports guys, all kinds of different subjects. Really good interviewer. And I got his book when it came out. I started reading it, and he was a swimmer and everything. And then he said his fucking diet was shit, and he went to go up some stairs to his kids at night and got puffed out at the top of the stairs. And I thought, I've got two girls, right? And I'm like, maybe I'll just quit now. And that's what I did. So I was in England when I did it because I was reading the book, and my first vegan meal was on a plane. On a plane,
Nice.
right?
Nice.
So, and that was it, dude. The funny thing is, when I landed, and my wife and two girls come to pick me up from the airport, right? And I've decided, I was on the plane, I'm completely vegan. So I get in the car and we pull out of the airport, we're heading back home. And I said, oh, by the way, I'm going vegan. Dude, it was like a hand grenade went off. My freaking wife was like, I ain't cooking 2 meals, and my freaking kids, we ain't going vegan, we ain't going. I'm like, oh no, what the heck? And I just sat there and waited for it to, like, everything comes to an end, right? So I just sat there until it all kind of calmed down. And I said, I didn't ask you to do it. I said, I'm doing it. And then all of a sudden it just kind of calmed down. I started doing it. My wife started cooking. That's another thing I'm going to be doing, by the way, is filming her cooking plant-based meals, because I've actually convinced her to do it. She wasn't at first, but she's so damn good. She hates cooking, right? This is the crazy thing. When she started getting into the plant-based cooking, because she started doing it herself too, and we started getting it, dude. She's getting better and better and better. And I'm like, let me film it and put it on the fucking channel. And he's like, all right. So that's coming as well. So I'm going to be filming different dishes of her doing plant-based shit for the channel. But yeah, I went, and then and then my girls started following a little bit. And they're probably a good 80% plant-based. I'm 100%. I'm like, no dairy, no, all plant-based milk. I don't eat meat at all.
Is your wife and daughters, are they British too?
No, my wife's American, and of course my two girls,
Oh yeah,
right?
your wife is from New York, right?
She's from New Jersey.
New Jersey, right.
Yeah, she's from New Jersey, yeah. And
Tim Driscoll, what's up, dude? That's Stoke Machine. That's the guy that pretty much taught me how to surf.
oh, no shit.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
the culprit.
TD you talking about?
Yep, that's the guy everyone's got to blame. Hey, there's a guy I played hockey with. His name's Matt. What's
Shit.
up, Matt? Matt and Tim. Two
Well,
people.
let me ask you that question then. You mentioned hockey, right?
Yeah.
Another game that I don't know much about, right? But it kind of, when I've watched it, right? I played rugby, right?
Mhm.
And it's kind of put in mind of kind of the same, right?
Yeah.
What was your mindset then?
Oh, well, Matt can so I'll tell you a story to explain that. Like there was like after I quit playing hockey, it was right in the beginning of the corona because I started surfing the winter before. There was like by 6 months after I stopped playing hockey altogether, I had the epiphany that I haven't told a stranger or a person that I don't know very well that I haven't fucked their mom in months. Cause like that's what I would say. Like that was my thing. Like if somebody I didn't know did something and they didn't want to get into a fist fight, I would
Yeah,
just tell them that or something similar, you know? So like
yeah.
when you think to yourself you haven't said something like that to a person in a long time, that was my mindset. And even worse, like now I work out because I want to feel better, like I want to like look a certain way and I want chicks to like me. But
Yeah.
then I only wanted to be better and stronger than dudes. like
No shit.
like I just wanted to like be strong in case I had to get into a fight with somebody.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's the only reason. And like I I look back and like filming yourself playing hockey, and it's like filming yourself surfing for the most part. People think it's stupid. People think you're dumb for doing it while you're surfing or while you're playing hockey. But if I had a GoPro, like not on my helmet as much as like where I could watch myself, like what I'm doing,
Yeah.
I would have been so much fucking better. Like I would have been so
Right.
much better. Like that dude Tim, like we surfed together a lot when I was starting, and he was able to teach me a lot. So like that helped. But also just being able to fucking watch myself over and over and over, and like, why is my arm like that? Why are my feet like
Right.
that? Why am I
Right.
standing like that? Like that's not
And
what you're supposed to look like. And but yeah, dude, hockey is just like it's a very I don't know. It is what you
where,
make
where
it.
was
I
where
don't
was
think.
where was your mindset though? Like playing compared to, I mean, I know there's like really not much comparison as far as hockey, but I'm like thinking about the mind,
Yeah,
surfing and hockey. I mean, there's not much
yeah,
comparison there, but
no.
as far as where the mind goes. But what was it about hockey? What did hockey give you that surfing didn't?
Well, nothing. Hockey didn't do anything. That's why I quit. I was on the ice almost 7 days a week, and I gave
Wow.
all that up to be a terrible surfer and terrible video editor in the beginning. And there are times that I'll think about it and I'll ask somebody like, "Oh, like how's it going?" And people still hit me up randomly to play, like in tournaments and shit.
Oh
I
shit.
haven't been on the ice in like fucking 3 years, but it's just like where was my mindset? It's weird. It's a very weird thing. I think I was doing it because I that's what I did for so long. And
It
like
was just the thing. It was
it's
it
what
was
I did.
just like
And like
playing
I
soccer
loved
at
it.
school.
Yeah, I loved it up to a point, and then I drinking, I didn't do anything but golf and drink and go to the beach. Like and that was when I was in college between like 2005 and 2010. But from like 94 to 2002, I played hockey significantly. And
Wow.
then from like 2010 until whatever year the corona fucking happened,
Right.
I played between 3 and 7 days a week, you know?
Right. Right.
Again, like,
What,
dude,
what made you not go into golf, dude? Because your dad was a
oh, I
fucking
do like
PGA.
so golf. I can go out. I cannot hit a golf ball for um Matt, if you go to the link, it's his name is Cockney Buddha, but if you look
Huh?
at
Oh, I thought you was calling me. What is? Are
no
you
no he
calling
wants
me?
he wants to know the link to your channel. It should be in the
Oh, because
link
I
for this
can't see
live.
shit.
But yeah, dude, I think wait, what was your question?
What was it? What was it? Why was it that you didn't go into golf? Because your old man was
Oh
a
yeah,
PGA
yeah, yeah.
golf.
No, I cannot hit a golf ball for 2 years and I can go out and play like I have been playing. Like
Wow.
yeah, that's another reason why these guys do you remember I told you the story about those guys that hit golf balls at me?
Yeah. Do you want to tell? Does everybody know in here about that? Do you want to?
It's just a
No.
long ass story. But
Okay.
so anyways,
Fair enough.
like but I like so they that group that they play in, I played in that group once. And I had just made in passing that like until that point, and I just was playing in it because I had the day off. And I hadn't played golf. I had maybe I played 9 holes in a year and a half up until that point. And I went out
Oh,
and I just like I was hitting these shots. It was crazy. Yeah. So like golf is like the thing that I can do the best. If I could never surf, I would play golf every day, you know? And that's what I would do. And I
yeah.
hit a lot of golf balls at work.
So
Like
why? How come you didn't go that direction then?
and like it's just it's so hard to get into. It's like it's such a small amount of people who are good enough to make any sort of money at it. Plus, like, dude, I don't have the look for a country club, you know? I'm more
Yeah,
of
but
the
it doesn't matter what you look like.
It does sometimes. It
Really?
does for sure. Yeah, and like so, man,
But
it's
hang
just
on a minute, hang on a minute. Why? Why does it matter what you look like? If you can fucking play golf, you can play golf.
well, I mean, so like when I was younger, I had like big gauges in my ears and shit, and like you know what I'm talking about, and
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it just
okay.
wasn't the thing. So, um, yeah, I just never really thought about golf as a career. My dad got into it because his best friend made it on the PGA Tour. And my
Wow.
dad was like him and my dad grew up and they're from fucking Marquette, Michigan.
Wow. No
Um
shit.
yeah, way up there. So but my dad was a skier. That's what he my dad wanted me to my dad wanted me to play basketball and to ski.
What?
Yeah.
Seriously?
So yeah, he was a
What,
really good
professional skier or
yeah. He
no
was on the US
shit?
he was on the US ski team as a kid. So not a professional. But this is a long time ago and he would so in the UP there's I don't know why this ski jump is famous, but it's a really big ski jump. So he would do that and he was really good at moguls. I remember one time when I mean, this was back when I was maybe between 7 and 10. And my dad is like 6'2" ish, full size
Holy
man,
shit.
not like me.
How tall are
He's
you?
I'm like 5'9" and I weigh
Oh, no shit.
140. He didn't weigh 140. And I remember this so vividly. He was like, we were leaving the ski hill. This is in fucking, we were at Vail or someplace in Colorado, legitimate ski hill, not in Marquette or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was like, all right, we're gonna go, and I'm gonna take one more run down the moguls. And this is and like my dad is cool, and we've had a decent relationship for most of my life, and he's awesome. But I remember him going down these moguls, and I was like, there was a point in me, I was like, man, is he? And I'm a kid. I'm like, does he know what the fuck he's doing? And it was just like he was like a
What?
butterfly, dude. It was crazy. And then he would
It's
make
like
me.
ballet. It's when
It's
it's done right,
oh,
it looks like ballet. It's so freaking when they
it's
do this
so
shit.
yeah. It's so crazy, and I was shocked. But then so he would like then he wanted me to play basketball. So like there was a little bit of time when I was young that I was like better than I should have been at basketball cuz he worked at the
Wow.
Children's Hospital in Denver and they had a gym there. So whenever I was like with him for the weekend or whatever, I would just shoot hundreds of baskets while he was at work. I would just hang out there and but yeah, so like but golf is the thing that I can do. I don't think I'll ever not be able to like be okay at golf. And
Right.
but yeah,
Let me
it's
ask
just
you. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Does is there any resemblance? I mean, and I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about in the actual sport itself, of course. But is there any resemblance between surfing and golf, mind wise?
oh yeah, yeah. And cuz the only thing that I've ever done is golf and surf or golf and hockey. That's really all I've ever done. And ruin romantic relationships. That's the three things that I'm the best at. And but dude, like golf is such a solitary sport and you have to play the course. Like everybody thinks you try to get this score to beat a person, but all you have to do at golf is figure out where to miss over and over again. On every hole there's places you can shittily hit your ball and
Yeah.
it's not that bad. Like unless you're like missing it or really bad, you can figure out golf just looking at the ground you're playing on. Just like surfing, like I would have these different waves up and down. Every wave is different, but dude, if you just get the a couple of things down and you spend some time out there, dude, it's so solitary and it's like if you want it, just like I told you earlier, if you want to be good at golf, you just have to tell yourself you're going to practice at golf. It's like there are things that it's just hard to do, you know, like I'll probably never I no matter how good at hockey I ever got, I just wasn't probably good enough to be in the NHL, you know? Or like let's say I got really good at basketball. I just probably wasn't good enough to be in the NBA for reasons outside of my control. You know, like you
Okay.
can't
Got
make
ya.
yourself taller. But like golf and hockey, dude, it doesn't really matter if you can hit a 300-yard drive every time. Like it's just like there's spots you can fit yourself into and these two sports. And I'm sure that there's other ones too. I'm just an idiot and these are the two things that I know. But that and then the mentality that you have to go into like playing golf and to just sort of fucking like if you suck at golf and you make your own score and you write down every shot that you took and you're honest about it, it's really demoralizing. Just like surfing, dude. Like
Yeah.
had Tim not helped me on these things that he did, it is one of the most even when the waves are nice and warm, dude. If you don't know that you're like 2 to 5 feet in or outside too far, it is the
Mm.
most frustrating fucking mind bending thing you have ever done. It's like hitting golf balls. If you're sitting out in the water and you're seeing everyone around you catch waves, and you're like, why the fuck am I not catching these waves? And you see one, you turn around, you start paddling, and you miss it, or it's just, or you think you see a good wave, and every time you try to, it's not the right one.
All right.
And
Yeah.
and if you're just not out far enough or you're inside too far, you're gonna get fucked over every time. Just like golf, if you're holding your hands just a little bit wrong, it doesn't matter what you're doing. It has
Yeah.
absolutely no, and it's just it's there's sports where you have to know things, and there's no magic. You can't be a certain size and just be inherently good. You can't be really strong and be good at these two sports. Like you have to have a mix of like
Right. Yeah.
flexibility, athleticism,
Yeah. Yeah.
patience, and like again, hockey is see thing, hit thing. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I do find a lot of similarities that like with my balance and with weight transfer that I can bring from hockey to
For
surfing, and
sure. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
how to move your body and how like you can't be really clunky playing hockey. You have to be very loose, and it's a long muscle sport, just like golf and surfing are both long muscle sports
Yeah. Yeah.
rather than like football where it's a lot of short muscle. Or I think rugby would be more. I guess there's a lot of sprinting in rugby where there's not a lot of sprinting in
Yeah, it depends your
football. So,
position again, right? I mean,
um,
I always played in the pack. I was because I was
yeah,
big, so
yeah,
I was the way it was explained to me is you're the wolf,
right.
right? And basically your job is to just fight for the ball and
It's
then
kind
get
of
it.
a really good mix between soccer and football, or soccer and American
It kind of
football.
started out like that. It was like I believe that someone had a soccer ball and they picked it up and ran with it, and it
Yeah,
became rugby, like
yeah,
way back when, right?
right.
But the even though the pack, there are a bunch of big guys, there's still a lot of running because you're basically knocking someone down and then you've got to get up and follow it, right?
Yeah,
So you're always moving and fighting for the ball, and then you get it out. Now your guys that along the line, they run. Right?
right.
They're your sprinters. They're like your wings are normally little guys that are fast as shit,
Right.
right? And you get it if you get it out of them and they know what they're doing and they pick up that speed and get it on their toes, they'll move, right?
I
But
always
when
said,
that goes down, it's our job to get it.
right. I always said that the two hardest sports that I thought were the two hardest sports were rugby and water polo.
Shit,
Because
yeah, I've
like,
never played that. I've
well, I
never
haven't
played with
either, but I
polo.
saw this thing on the Olympics. It wasn't the Olympic program, but it was like something about water polo in the Olympics, and those people will beat the fuck out of each other under the water. They're kicking each other and shit, and punching each other in the stomach and shit,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
grabbing people's arms. Like they're in water over their head, I believe, or they can barely. I don't know if they can touch it all,
They've
but
got to tread water. They're
yeah, they
they're they're treading water because my girls swim. My oldest doesn't now, but my youngest still swims. And where we used to go at the pool, there used to be water polo before, so we used
yeah.
to watch them training. And yeah, they're freaking treading water, dude. while they're doing whatever they're doing. It's like crazy. It's constant movement.
Yeah, crazy.
Constant movement. Yeah.
It's so
But
crazy.
I've always wondered about that with golf and because it's kind of, if you're not present with it, right? It's like rugby,
Yeah,
right? They say there's no like there's skill involved, but it's more set pieces like setting up, knowing what to do in a situation, things like that. But at the end of the day, you're just mullering people, right? You're just going in and like, okay, fucking get out of the way, right? You
right.
know, when you're doing like golf and surfing, that's why I was so, like I say, I'm so fascinated with the mind bit of it. I don't know how to surf, but this bit fascinates me because it's, you know, if anybody wants to go to my website, I've got a thing on
What
there
is
called SOS.
what is your
Where like,
website?
what's that?
What is your website?
Oh, Mind Nutrition, the number four, all.com is my website.
Mind
Um,
Nutrition for All.
Mind Nutrition for All. Yeah, the number four, all.com. Um, and I've got a load of blogs on. I've got like 50 plus blogs on there. And there's one there called SOS. And I basically use surfing, the analogy of surfing. So there's the letters mean certain things. If you go to my website, there's a whole write up on it, right, on how to do it, and then basically just write it on a piece of card, right, and then put it in your wallet. So if your mind's going a bit shitty, you pull it out, SOS. It can kind of jog it into place. So it's like, you know, it's just a tool. But I use surfing, the mindset of surfing in that before I even knew you guys. It just,
Yeah.
it's like it's one of those experiences I imagine where, you know, I've spoke to you before about it. When you're on that ball, you now you've got Mother Nature, and that ain't stopping, right?
It's the most unusual feeling. I just say it's like flying. It's like I'm flying.
Yeah, man.
And,
Is
dude,
that
it's
what gives
crazy.
you that? Does it give you like a freaking like a euphoric kind of
It turns
feeling?
my it's you could describe it as that, but dude, it turns my brain off. I'm
Yeah, you
thinking
said
about
that,
how
yeah.
to navigate the wave. I'm thinking about that and subconsciously, but like there's no pain, there's no scared, there's no
Right.
there sometimes I do get scared right before a big wave closes out on me, but
Yeah.
that's when I snap back into reality. Again, that's why I use that peppermint oil analogy, dude, because
That shit works, man.
like the peppermint oil is like voodoo. It might as well be for people that don't think about it. But when I say like, dude, my brain turns off. My brain, it fucking there's nothing. It's like
That's presence, baby.
1987 fucking when you turn to that one channel that there's nothing on the channel. That's what my
Yeah.
brain is doing. Just
Yeah.
fucking static. Everything's out. There's
That
no
literally
there's
is
just
it's presence, brother. You know, I've had
yeah,
my first real presence experience that I became completely and utterly present was really strange and bizarre because it didn't look like it was real,
yeah.
right? And I was actually over in London, and I'm walking through my town with my mum, and all of a sudden it was weird as shit, dude. I didn't have any anxiety or nothing, no thought, right? There wasn't really any. The thinking seemed to just like die down. It was really strange, and everything seemed to go in slow motion. It kind of slowed down, and I was actually looking at people's faces because we don't pay attention, dude. When we're walking, half the time we're looking. I don't know why we're looking at the freaking floor because what you're telling yourself, I'm not good enough, right? You're walking like this, well, you know. So hold your
I
head
look at
up.
the floor a lot when I walk.
Me too. Yeah, and it's an awareness. It's a conscious effort to freaking hold your head up, right? Because if you don't hold your head up and pull your shoulders back, what you're telling other people, hey, freaking, I'm like this. You're also telling yourself, I'm not confident, right? So hold your head up. And I can't remember what I was getting onto, but anyway, what was I talking about? I can't even remember. You're, you're like me.
Oh, we were talking about the being like you using surfing and being conscious and
Oh yeah,
being present for the first time. That's what you're doing.
right. And it lasted. I don't know, 15 seconds, 20 seconds. It seemed like a long time, but it wasn't. It was like a very, very short period of time. But I knew I was completely, and I didn't know what it was. I was a bit weirded out by it. And I got with my therapist because she got me on this journey, this spiritual journey. And I'm like, "What's that?" And she goes, "Oh, you had a presence. You became enlightened." I'm like, "What the heck?" And then it's happened a few times since, and it's the strangest thing. You
Yeah,
become completely and utterly present with
yeah,
what you do. You can
it's
feel,
nuts.
smell, everything.
Yeah,
Amazing.
and like the average length of a ride on a lake wave is like 8 seconds, and
Wow.
that's just another reason. Like I think about that, and I'm like, because I mean I edit every one of my waves. I'll look at least every one of my waves, and it's like between 5 maybe and 10 seconds, maybe a little bit longer. And if I can make that, if I can think and feel that my brain is doing nothing while I'm
Yeah,
surfing,
yeah,
that's got to mean something. Like if I
yeah,
can look, if I can say, oh, fuck, it's the absence of any sort of thought or feeling. And like, I guess there's feelings, of course, but
yeah.
nothing bad, nothing scary, nothing mean, just like fucking, just like if I could just stay, I don't care what size the wave is, but like there's a point when you're in a wave that it stands up, but you know you have a lot of room that you can just either like crouch down or do a couple of turns or whatever. But there's a feeling that your board gets, and it's just
Mm,
like you, and if like that feeling, it just if I could just go and just not stop and just fucking, it's just this weird thing, like, and
yeah.
I never got that playing hockey. And I really like there's the smell of cut grass. It sucks because I've worked at golf courses for so long that I can't smell cut grass if I'm cutting the
Oh,
grass.
damn it.
But
Wow.
one of the reasons that I love work is just that smell. That smell gives me so many memories of different times I played or
Yeah.
whatever, that the only thing close to what surfing does is like the nostalgia of the smell of cut grass. That's the only
Wow.
thing close, but it's not really the same. It gives me the same happy feeling and like comfort or whatever.
Yeah, it's a
But
trigger.
yeah, but dude, you get on a fucking wave and you're fucking, it's just like my brain just static, man, for eight
Hang on,
seconds.
what did Radman just say there?
Um,
Survival surfing.
yeah.
Line dancing, the hardest game in the world. Line dancing.
Cat wants you to talk about the absence of thought.
Absence of thought. Wow. In what kind of capacity? I mean, we
I
talking
think
in
I said it.
meditation or
I think I said it. I think I said, um, yeah, I think I said it.
about
Just
the
in
absence
relation
of
to
thought?
like, yeah, I think I just said it in relation to like me, like how
Oh,
my
right.
brain, how I feel like my brain. But I don't know what do you think that means? Like what do you think that means? What do you think
Uh,
my
uh,
brain is doing, or do you
well,
think it's
I
just
mean,
me like happening?
it's again. I think the people I work with, right, who I guide. I push meditation, right. It's one of the things that when I get them out in a couple of sessions, I'm like, "Do you meditate?" Right, because it's that type of thing that you're doing. Right, you're going into a state of mind to where you're on a different level. You're probably your heart rate and that might be a little high, maybe, but you're on a once it's done, once you're off that way, your heart rate will go down because your freaking mind is in a different area. And when you get there, that's when you start. You can see the thinking, but you're not reacting to the thinking.
Hmm.
You see what I mean? It's like the
So,
only go on.
go ahead.
Oh, the the only problem we have in our thinking, right, is the reaction to the emotion, right? it becomes we have faults all day long, right? I forget what the statistics were. It's like fucking 60,000 faults every day. 90 or 95% of them are the same that you had the day before, the day before that, the day before. It's
I
just the
remember
same
you
shit,
saying that. Yeah, I remember you
right?
saying that.
So, when you can tune into the thinking, like the thoughts that are coming in, just like in meditation, you see the thinking and then you let it go. It doesn't. You're not attaching to it. It's only when you like think too hard, the emotion will take over, like you have a trigger, right? The emotion will take over, but and then your reaction to the emotion takes you to somewhere that might not even be the thing that's happening in front of you. It could be a past experience. It could be anything, right?
Dude, that's kind of like different dimensions almost, because
Yeah,
like the the idea isn't physical, but the idea can turn into a feeling, and that is it's almost physical. And I mean a feeling, not like stub your toe, like an emotion. I guess that's a better
yeah,
thing. So the idea can turn into emotion, but then the emotion can fucking make you do something, like
yeah. It
go
can
yell at
either
somebody or
way,
cut some fucking person off or be mean to yourself or whatever.
right? That's what
Fuck.
I was telling you about with anger when we were talking about anger a few weeks ago, right? There's that gap.
Yeah.
If you tune into that gap, especially with anger, like it's that awareness again. It's like feeling certain things within your body before you get there,
Yeah.
right? And there's that gap, and that's when you can switch that off. Because if you can put that space in between before
Yeah.
reacting to the emotion, now you can control it. You're in control at that point. It's only when we react to the emotion and we're out of control at that point. Your mind is going wherever it's going. It's probably not even to do with what's in front of you. Like I say, it's all fucking past shit that's coming. You ever had it where you get into an argument with somebody and you throw a whole bunch of shit out that doesn't even have anything to do with them?
It's like every conversation I have, I get sidetracked.
Right. It's all that freaking shit that's like built up that we don't deal with. And then all of a sudden there's a trigger and it's like, here it comes.
Right.
Whoa. And it's like verbal diarrhea.
Yeah.
We're not thinking. We're off. But in surfing, if you don't switch that bit off, that's what I'm saying. You've got it. Surfers have it because there's that gap. So you said when you get up on the board, so your mind's going on when you're working at it, right? Because you're totally present, like looking at the waves, looking at all that, right? It all comes into play with you paddling out, right? So your mind is thinking, like, where do I go? What spot do I go to? Where do I pick? It's going, right? But that point you said, where all of a sudden you feel that push, right? Now your mind ain't thinking about none of that. Because if it did, you ain't paying attention to what's actually happening right now.
Yeah. You
You're
just
not you're not present, right?
And so it's like a physical meditation. Like most people will meditate and like kind of be quiet and sit there. But maybe my brain just needs like that. Maybe I just need that little bit of extra activity. Like my body needs to be moving just a little bit, rather than just like my body being sedentary. And
You're always moving,
then
right? I mean, I've watched you guys on the boards. I mean, it's fascinating watching how
yeah,
your
yeah.
body
But
fucking
I just
moves.
I think maybe like I like just for how my brain works, maybe like how you do your meditation, I'm doing the same thing, just like
Yeah,
I just need my body to be doing something else. It's almost like I need to distract myself to do something good, like I need to trick myself into just going to a different place in my head, you know what I'm saying?
yeah. You wouldn't have the passion that you have if you wasn't getting something,
True.
right?
Yeah.
You, we,
And it's
we
weird.
chase we chase what we want, not what we don't want,
Sure.
right?
And it's nuts because now that like I'm thinking about trying to compare like the golf to the surf and how I look at them, when I golf, there can be outside distractions, but it's such a thing with like my dad and me, and well, really how like me, my whole side of that family. Golf has just always been sort of like like what it's just the thing that we all did, you know. So I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
I can be affected by other stuff. It's weird. Like when I quit drinking, I didn't think I could ever play golf again. But I tricked myself by I would get those big gallon jugs of spicy V8, and
yeah,
instead of drinking booze, I would drink a whole thing of those, and I would like trick myself, you know, because like I needed golf. Like I needed it. I couldn't not have it, and it's just weird how my brain figured out a way that my body could follow it and still golf or whatever. And I think with stuff like Bear recently and my relationship ending a while back,
right,
it's just like, dude, like my brain found surfing and like my brain found a way just to be like,
right,
because like at the end of the day, dude, like bad shit's gonna happen. But
yeah,
it's really just like you said, it's like what you do with that bad shit, because the bad shit that's happened to me, it's not that fucking bad. Like it's really not. And
right,
I'm really fucking lucky. So the way that I've like at least with surfing and then having this sort of epiphany of like, wow, this is such a different way that my brain is working. I've like tried to like harness it, dude, and like see what I can do with it. Like try to turn it into some fucking pop, like tell me where to buy the scratch off ticket, because like
right.
literally I don't need money. I could live in a fucking car at this point and be perfectly happy as long as I could surf. But
Yeah.
boy, oh boy, would a couple 100 million help out. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, it helps all that, mate. It's always a bit handy to have that in your pocket, right?
A couple extra quid, as it were.
Shit, a couple of extra notes. Yeah, do you down to the ground. That will, but but no, mate. You said it. You said a bit right in the middle there where you said about the drink, about the juice, right?
Yeah,
And you said it right out. You said I tricked my brain.
yeah,
That's the power of the mind. There was nothing in there. There was no alcohol in there, right? But you're telling yourself it is, and that allowed you to get on and do what you were doing without the alcohol. But it's having that same effect because
yeah.
it's what you're telling your mind.
It is, dude, and it's crazy because like I'm a, you know, I don't, I'm not going to talk shit about myself in the presence of the Buddha, but if I can quit drinking, and it's been 12 fucking years, if I can quit drinking, dude, and people say this all the time, but anybody can. It's just, you have to just be like, and I think this is where ego comes in good, because you have to think that you are like ultra worth it, like worth it more than other people are sometimes.
Right.
And yeah,
It's
no,
it's like I tell my guys, right? I had one that no time. And I ain't got no time. I ain't got no time. I ain't got no time. And I'm like, well, what time are you doing? And it was spent on everybody else and everything else. And it was like, well, what are you doing for yourself? What time are you spending on yourself? Because that allows your energy and your clarity of your own mind to be able to stable. It's like concentrating on you so you can do other things.
yeah, that's
Right?
what Dan put up a video about that the other day.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, he actually said something today. He was going to work on himself.
Oh, I
He
think I
did
did.
say that.
Yes, I did. This morning, right?
He said that, yeah, this morning.
Earlier. Yeah. Freaking Dan. Dan is another. Dan's got another one of those minds, man.
Yeah,
Right.
Dan had him on game.
He's another one of those guys that's got one of those minds, and I know he meditates and shit like that. I've had a few talks with
Yeah,
Dan,
yeah, Dan's
and
a good guy.
what's that?
Dan's a good guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Real good guy. Yeah, and he's talked about his job and things like that, not liking his job and shit, it's freaking hard seeing people because I have people like Guy do, and like freaking, I'm done with my job. I hate my job, right? And the first thing I say to them is like, leave, and they're like, what? I can't. And I wait, right? Because what they don't realise they have is control. They don't realise it, right? They think they're stuck there and someone's like, you've got to stay there. Now, yes, there's other things that's going on, But there's no reason why you can't be in that job, but put the mind somewhere else and say, right, I'm just going to look for something else. Right?
That's what the coronavirus did for me. I realized if the government can pay me all that money to sit on my rosy white ass, then I don't have to work for anybody who's mean to me or who doesn't respect me or who doesn't give a shit about the place that they own or manage. I'm
Right.
not fucking doing it. I
Right.
refuse. I'll find a place that, and look what happened. Dude, the two people I work for, they've done so much for me. They
Right.
let Bear have like walk around their golf course like he fucking owned it.
Right.
Those
Right.
two
Right.
people are fucking, they're just like everybody in this WhatsApp group, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that came right on the heels of me being like, I'm not fucking with anybody who's not cool with me. Like I don't give a shit. I don't care anymore about anybody who's not on my team.
Yep.
I don't care who you are. I don't care what you have. I don't care if you don't want to be part of what I'm doing, you could go eat some grass.
Yep.
I don't
I mean,
care.
look, you look at the people around you, right? I mean, if you're standing there and you're surrounded by people that ain't supporting you,
Yeah.
ain't there if if there's a fucking breakdown or something and they're not there or they're not trustworthy or why we're around them, right? Because
Yeah.
they're not good. They're pulling your energy down. When you're around them, they're pulling your energy down. There's those people you start talking to them and all they're doing is bitching, right? And you'll start believing it. You will start tagging in. I've literally done it to where I remember working with my mate who's freaking completely confident. Right, this guy with the phone. I used to have a fear of the phone, believe it or not. Crazy, right?
I remember you telling me that.
Compared to what I do now, I mean, it's mad. I used to have a fear of the phone, but I would go over to his work and I'd watch all these guys on the freaking phones and confident and talking and all that. I started picking the phone up now and again, right? It's that mindset. You're going to feed off of that. It's the energy of it, right? So if you're going to be around an atmosphere of it just pulls you down and you're getting up in the morning and you're like, oh fuck, I'm gonna right, and you're doing that constantly, right? How much longer in your lifespan are you going to do that, right? You're not happy. How much of your time, which is currency, if you think of time as currency, right, you'll change shit.
You're not gonna be
Because
fucking about. You're not gonna be
what's that?
fucking doing it. You're not gonna be fucking around. That's for damn sure.
Exactly, because you don't get if you look at time. I mean, it's man-made anyway. Time, right? I mean, fucking
Yeah.
humans made
Fucking
it.
Big Ben. You Big Ben. You're fucking
Right, old
right.
Big Ben. Yeah. Um, but if you look at time, and say time is a currency, you can't earn time back.
No.
You're burning time all the time. It's sections of your life that's disappearing. You can't get it back, right? With a job, you can earn more money, right? You could get a side job if you needed more money. You can earn money, right? You ain't earning life, right? So if you think of time as currency, yeah, where do you want to spend it? You want to spend a bunch of time with a bunch of people pulling you down and make you feel like shit? Oh, there's an hour of my life fucking gone for nothing,
Jesus Christ. It's
right?
true.
Right, you might be on the phone with somebody, and you do one of these. I had a mate that did this with a guy. I watched him do it. He put the fucking phone down, went walking around, picked the phone back up, and went yeah, and put the phone down because the guy was a nightmare, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Seriously.
but why do we choose to be around it? It don't make sense. It's you're burning. You're going over to family members that's like always on you, always giving you shit, always right. Why go there, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're that kind of person to them, then why would I burn my fucking valuable currency being there?
Exactly.
I'm not getting my fucking life back, and you just rip me down for an hour,
Yeah.
right? So once you start looking at that, you can't earn that fucking shit back. Now, when you get up and you put your fucking soles of your feet on that carpet, mate, what you going to do? Are you gonna invest your time and with your currency in something that you're gonna progress? Even if you progress just a little bit or learn something somewhere, read a book or something or whatever it is, right? If you're progressing yourself forward, then that's well spent.
Yeah.
But if you're pulling yourself down all the time and you're around fucking shitty people and a job that fucking sucks, they don't look after you, or I've worked with managers and shit, and they don't give a shit, right?
Right.
They couldn't care less. And there you are, the grunts doing all the work, and they're getting all the fucking glory and praise, and they give you nothing, right? Why? I did that for years. Why did I do that? I can't get that back. God can
Never.
burn it, right? So you start thinking of time as currency, man. Who do you want to spend it? Who do you want to spend it with? Where do you want to put it? And think that way, right? Because then it just changes the perspective a little bit of like
I
what
think
you're
that's a
doing in
good
your day.
message for anybody too. You know, it doesn't really matter how much money you have as long as you're still. It doesn't matter how much money you have. Your time is always ticking down, man.
Think about this, right? We all want to be rich, right? We all want a fucking shit ton of money. We all want to be loaded rich, right? But how much suffering comes with that, right?
A
I
lot.
had, I honestly, and I can say this honestly with my heart. When I first moved to the US and I had freaking nothing, no money, I couldn't work. My wife was working for the government. They didn't pay shit, right? But some of those, like the Christmases we had, she bought me a cheap scale because I was making bread because we had no money. So I'd make the bread, right? So I bought a 50-pound bag of freaking flour, a bunch of yeast, and I made bread. I stood there making her own bread, right? And the thing with it is I was more present with that and actually more happy than really when you've got a whole bunch of shit. Because now you walk
Right.
around, you're going, oh, what am I going to do? Oh, well, I could play a game. Oh no, let me do it. Oh no, I don't really want. And you're like, but when you haven't got much choice, life's a little bit simpler, right?
Right.
There's not this going on with the brain, like fucking, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? If you're given two choices, it's like that or that, right? So when the things are a little bit simpler, there's less suffering. They say some of the biggest tribes that they've met out in the freaking Amazon and shit are happy as shit. They got nothing. They ain't got TVs and fucking electricity and all that shit, right? They ain't got shit. And they studied them and they said they're happier than fucking civilized people out here with fucking electronics and fucking everything we got. They're happy, right? So
I think
money,
probably a lot of shit probably makes more sense to them too. You know.
yeah, because it comes down as well to the group mentality, right? The social mentality, which everybody's fucking losing. Thanks to COVID, right? Was one of them, right? Because
Yeah.
everybody just went, oh shit, push everybody away, right? And in the tribes, they still had that social gathering, helping each other out. They barter with shift stuff with another. If there's another tribe or something somewhere and they need something, they barter and talk, and they figure it out. It's a simple life, and they're happy.
Yeah. It's
It's
different.
and that's not me saying that. That's fucking studies,
Yeah.
right? That I've read. So it's a simple life, but it's a lot less stressful because there's less choice. When you're given more choice, there's more suffering. It's nice, right? Look at a menu. Here's a fine example. If you go into a restaurant and there's 3 items on the menu, at first you'll go, because we're spoiled. We're human freaking spoiled bastards, right? Basically, because we'll look at the menu and we'll go, why is there a load of variety here? But we don't think that if it's a smaller menu, it gets cooked better.
Right.
There's less stress in the kitchen. It's a simpler menu. The more shit you put on that menu, that kitchen better be on freaking form, right? Because if anything, if I've been there, when you got a load of shit on the menu and you're all in there trying to cook it, and all of a sudden something just goes a bit wrong, the whole kitchen goes to shit.
Right.
there's so much stress because you're trying to think of so many. If you've got 3 items, less stress.
Yeah.
You could work in a kitchen all day long. I wish I worked in them kitchens, right? But it's that concept. There's a lot. And the more you're given, the more you can be unhappy.
Well, dude, we're almost at 2 freaking hours. That is
Wow,
insane.
dude. Wow. All
That's
right.
insane.
Dude, it was
I think,
awesome, man.
yeah, dude. Yeah, man. I don't, yeah. That's the best way to put it. I think it's cool that you kind of overcame
I did. Dude,
for the
I'm not kidding you, man. I I had to use tools pretty heavily before getting on here. I'm not kidding. I
good.
as it was coming up like 10 minutes before, I'm looking over, I'm on the fucking Xbox and I'm saying to my mates, I've got to get off at half past. I gave myself half hour, right? And then I got to the half hour mark and I'm like, I'll just switch the game off and chat. So I'm chatting to them and I'm like, dude, I got to go. So then I'm running around getting me tea, setting me fucking light up because I dim lighting in here I put down, right? And my heart was going, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh shit, whew, calm down, breathe, 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 breathe. So I just started breathing. Let me teach something to people. Can I teach something to people? Like how to box breathe
Yeah,
real quick?
yeah.
Yeah. And
No,
before we leave,
yeah.
I don't know who's on here or if anybody's interested, but
Well, people will watch it after we're done too. They'll watch
okay.
it back, you know.
Um, one of the things to use, which is which is kind of what I did when I was going into that, like, oh shit, right? Was the first thing I thought about was it's unknown, right? We can't do anything about the unknown bit, but what the brain's doing is it's trying to figure out the unknown. So it's going crazy trying to figure out every kind of scenario that could go wrong, what's going right. I had fucking charges and all kinds of shit in here, right? Because it was lining everything up. My anxiety was going, right? But if you like just box breathe. So box breathing, I do 4/5s, right? If you think about 4/5s, right, and think about a box, so it's 5, 5, 5, 5, right? And basically, when you box breathe, is you breathe in for 5, and don't. I'm not talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not like that, right? Like 1, 2, 3, like that, right? Until you get to 5, and then you suspend the breath. I try and stay away from saying hold the breath because it's too hard. If you say suspend, it sounds easier. If you say suspend your breath to somebody, it's better than saying hold your breath. And when you say hold your breath, everybody thinks of being underwater and panic, right? If you say suspend the breath, you're not underwater. It's different. It doesn't match, right? So when you say suspend the breath, then you hold it for another 5. 1, 2, just holding the breath in, right? And you want to breathe from your diaphragm. So as you're breathing in, do it all through the nose. There's a number of different reasons why you do it through the nose. There's one of them is nitric oxide. There's natural nitric oxide in the nose that when the air goes up through the nose, it adds nitric oxide to the air, which allows your blood vessels all to relax. So your blood pressure comes down, your cortisol levels come down, right? So you breathe through the nose and push your belly out as you breathe in, and then suspend the breath for another 5, and then you're breathing out for another 5, right? Bringing the belly button straight back to the backbone. So you naturally breathe out, and then as you get to that last bit, just push that little bit more out to just get that little bit more air out, and then you suspend again for another 5, and then you do it all over again. So 5, 5, 5, 5. You think 4/5s sides, and you can slow. As soon as you start doing that, you're taking control of your mind, because as soon as you start slowing the breath down, there's nothing. The mind's going. There's nothing to panic about here. So and then they start bringing everything down. Your cortisol levels, your heart rate, everything will start coming down, and you may not fully get rid of it, but you're going to be in a lot better spot than if you didn't do it. Right. So it's just a way of you can kick that 5, 5, 5, 5 in, and just remember that, and just remember to suspend the breath. Breathe, do it properly. Don't fuck about with it. Push the belly out as you breathe in, suspend, and then let it out. And I'll tell you, man, you'll calm down. And if you do 10 rounds of that, you'll feel better. There's a
And I hear that there's a lot of truth to breathing out your nose. Is that what you said? In your nose, out your mouth?
It's better. It's better if you can do it all through the nose. I mean, there's nothing.
Yeah.
There's certain practices where I'll breathe through the nose and come out through the mouth. But I even at night. Now you're going to laugh. When I go to bed at night, I take my mouth shut. I sleep with. I've been doing it for about 2.5 years. Every night.
Dang.
Every night. Right. I've done through this journey. Started following different people with breathing and how to breathe. And there's this, and I forget his name. Damn, I wish I could remember his name. Shit. It might come to me. But there's a guy, he's all to do. He was actually a journalist that ended up getting fascinated with the breath and how it affects the mind. And he started to basically research it and want to know what was going on. So he said to stick a piece of tape over your mouth because then you're forced to breathe through your nose. And I've been doing it for 2.5 years because it even comes down to the jaw lines have even changed because people breathe through their mouths now, so that it's become narrower because it doesn't need to do anything. Apparently, I mean, I don't know really the big science behind it, but the jaw lines apparently have become narrow and everything, and people are, it's crooked teeth now where they didn't have them, back 1,000 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So they probably didn't have any teeth, right? Thinking about it, didn't have dentists, but the whole process of what was I talking about? The breathing, right? Was I talking about breathing? I can't remember that. Anyway,
Yeah. Yeah. Tape
I'm
your mouth shut.
Yeah, I take my mouth. Yeah, I take my mouth shut, man. Been doing it for. I take cold showers in the morning.
I think Dan said he taped his mouth shut too.
Oh, did he?
I think so.
Hang on. I use mouth tape too. Yeah, Dan. I'm telling you, man. How long you been doing that? Because I tell you, I just get regular surgical tape, and they tell you to put a little square bit here, but I don't. I put it right across my mouth, so I know I ain't breathing nowhere. Right? It's got to come through the nose, and it's really. You wake up in the morning, you haven't got all that filmy shit in your mouth, because I fucking sleep. My fucking mouth probably looks like a tunnel. You could probably get a car in, right? I would probably look like a fucking trash can. I'm probably like, right? So, and you'd wake up in the morning and your mouth would feel all shit, right? That slimy shit. I don't get that. I don't get any of that. Your oral health is better. You're helping the breath. You're actually breathing. And when you breathe normally throughout your day, you're only using about 30% of your lung capacity, right? That's why surfing, meditation and surfing, that's why it'll be good to follow if I do this meditation and that, surfers will get a fucking way bonus out of it. Because I'll go into breathing exercises where it'll help you fucking like be underwater for a bit.
That's
Right?
helpful.
Like Wim Hof stuff. I do all that, Wim Hof breathing and that. So, but yeah, what's Dan say? I was on it pretty consistency a while back, but on and off lately. Yeah, get back on it, man. I tell you, dude, it freaking works. There's science behind it. What I'll do is I'll post in the group the guy's book. I haven't read it yet. I have it to read. I haven't read it yet, and because it's a good book. And I read a breathing book all about the structure of the fucking nose and how it works and how the breath goes down into. I fucking studied how the exchange of air and the blood and everything works, and I kind of studied that a little bit just to know how it all works, the system. And it works, man. Breath work works. It's what I do every day, man. I hit that fucking mat every day. I meditate every day. There ain't no, even if I'm depressed, I'll get on the mat. And if I miss, I know I have. If I miss a couple of meditations, I know I have because I might get agitated. I might like not have so much patience, So it's taking care of self, dude. And all the while you're doing that, you can handle numbnutses like you get on the golf course, right? You can handle it. It's that gap. Nope, you can control it. So anyway, we better get off because we'll talk for another hour.
Yeah, dude, I can't believe it, but my phone is like it's gonna hit 1% here any second.
Holy
But
shit, it hasn't gone.
dude,
Damn, I don't know what mine's
dude,
at.
we this was great. I think this was great, and you're great. And
Thank you,
anybody
man.
in
Hey,
here that isn't subscribed to Steve's channel, please go do it. We need to
thank
get
you.
him to
You
100.
too, dude. You too. Listen, man, you make me,
Yeah.
honestly, I've been in those shit places in my head, dude. And I get on there and you make me laugh. And it's like, you know, you don't even know you're doing it because I don't put myself on that group all the time. But I go in there and I see some of those videos you post out there, man, and it gets me on a level, trust me. So
We
don't
got to get
underestimate
King Chuck
yourself.
back out.
What's that?
We got to get King Chuck out here sooner than later.
Yeah, man. Where's he gone? I thought you posted it the other day. I'm like fucking scanning because there was about 50, 60 messages, I think, because I hadn't been on there, and I'm like
All right.
reading and flicking, reading and flicking. Fucking no King Chuck.
Well, thanks everybody for watching.
Thank you,
Thank
thank
you
you, thank you.
everybody for watches afterwards, and maybe next Friday. I think next Friday Grom is gonna be back with his lives.
Grom's
So
on, yeah.
if you guys, yeah, and if anybody in here isn't subscribed to Grom's channel, go do that. Just go to the bottom of my channel and subscribe to everyone's channel down there. How about that?
There you
And
go. And
yeah,
you too.
yeah, man. All right.
Uh,
Bye,
all right,
Steve.
brother.
Thank you.
See you, man. Take it easy, yeah.